In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Alright folks, this is Rick Robinson with you. I want to tell you about some friends of mine from a company called Security Enforcement Specialists. When I ran my security agency for 12 years, I worked with one of these partners on a daily basis. He's been involved in this agency now, and with his other partner, they do have over 30 years of experience in the private security industry. If you own a business and you need someone to keep you or your customers or residents safe, then I highly recommend contacting Security Enforcement Specialists today. Give them a call at 405-703-1796. Again, that's 405-703-1796. Again, tell them Rick from K98 Talk sent you. Like I said, if you need the help, they are here for you. So make sure that you go look them up, check them out, and see what they can do.
Wrong way. Welcome to the place.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
To get up to like $68,000, my heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
The internet will never be the same. You're listening to K98Talk.com.
Whoa! Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely. Now get started again.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
The trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so.
Welcome to Red State Town Hall program. I'm your host, Primo Mondoni. My co-host, Ken Brown, will join me in a couple of minutes. Please visit the show's website, redstatetownhall.com. While you're there, be sure to like us on both Facebook and Twitter. If you wish to contact us, email address is Primo, Premo, at redstatetownhall.com. Our show's broadcast here on Red State Talk Radio, America's premier grassroots conservative internet talk radio network. The show is also syndicated to iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Podomatic, TalkStream Live, Player.fm, Roku, and at least a dozen other websites. You can listen to the station using their Android, iPhone, and BlackBerry apps. Visit the station's website, redstatetalkradio.com, to download the appropriate app for your smartphone. If you don't have a smartphone, you can listen using any phone on the station's 24/7 listener line provided by TalkStream Live by dialing the following: for Studio A, 605-562-4209, and for Studio B, 518-712-0045. Before we start the show, let's give a shout out to our AM, FM, and digital affiliates. WDDQ FM 92.1, Adel, Georgia. WSFB 1490 AM, Talk 97.7 FM, Quitman, Georgia. Talk Radio AM 1620, KTFL, Gilbert, Arizona. WMQL Radio FM 105.5, Brevard, North Carolina. Coffin County Talk Radio AM 1680, KCTR, Terrell, Texas. Taxpo Radio, Gainesville, Georgia. K98talk.com. I know I forgot somebody because I don't have the right list in front of me, so my apologies. That's it. Let's get started. Let's bring on my co-host from Atlanta, Georgia, Mr. Ken Brown. Mr. Brown, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing all right. I'm sure you're happy because college football is now underway.
Oh, yes, and my Tennessee Vols did well yesterday. First quarter, they started out like gangbusters. They had a little bit of problem in the second quarter, but then after that, they kind of finished out, did well. I think they won 59 to, 30 or something like that. It was a high-scoring game.
They played who?
They played Bowling Green. So
okay, see,
but here's the thing: Bowling Green has almost no defense, so that's why we did so well on that part of the field. But they have one of the best offenses in the country, and they were good offensively. So and they torched us for a couple of deep passes. There was two plays in a row where a guy just beat our guy just all to pieces on the left sideline. So we had our problems. And one of the reasons we had problems in the secondary is the secondary coach for Tennessee had been suspended from one game for some kind of minor recruiting violation. He apparently contacted a guy in some way he shouldn't have contacted him, whatever. So it was a minor thing, but we didn't have a secondary coach. And so the main defensive coordinator would go over to the secondary guys, trying to give them a little bit of tips, don't let them get past you like that again, kind of thing, whatever. I guess I don't know what you say because that's not his thing. He's in charge of the entire defense. He's not really, whatever. But they won. Next week though in Neyland Stadium, got Oklahoma. That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that one. And they're going to do the orange and white checkerboard thing all throughout the stadium. They're letting all the fans know what section you're in, whether you wear orange T-shirts or white T-shirts. And it makes the entire stadium look like a checkerboard. They did that last year, and they're doing that this year for Oklahoma. So that should be fun. It should be
that kind of stuff's fun to watch on TV.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when you see that, because there'll be 100,000 plus in the stadium, it'll be packed. Oklahoma's, that's a good game.
I don't know if you remember my one and only trip to Neyland Stadium was with you, and
really?
Back in college. Yeah. And
okay,
when Tennessee played Georgia Tech, and you got a ticket.
See, I don't even remember that. That's terrible, isn't it?
Isn't it? It's awful. Anyway, I got there, and we walked in the stadium, and we sat somewhere in the nosebleed, I think. And I was like, I could not believe how big that stadium was. It's huge.
Yeah, it is.
It holds 100,000 people or something, and I didn't know. I could barely tell where the players. They're like ants on the field.
Yeah, we were in the nosebleed section because we were college kids. We didn't have any swag to get good tickets, so we were way up there. And I actually kind of remember this now that you mentioned it. I kind of do remember it a little bit. And I had been in the upper deck a few times in my life, but see, when I had season tickets for a long, long time, I had really good season tickets. And so I could see really well, and it was really a much more enjoyable experience. But yeah, with 100,000 people, when the Tennessee Vols run through the tee, they open up the band opens up the tee and they run through and this all the screaming, yelling, and literally, I'm not kidding you. When that happens, you cannot even hear the other person sitting next to you. They can say something to you, you cannot hear it. The roar is so deafening. I mean, it's just.
I believe it. That place is huge. If you go to Georgia Tech games, you go in. I mean, here every seat's a good seat. You know, it's not. It's
the smaller stadium.
You feel like you're. Oh, it is. It's vastly smaller than Neyland, but Neyland Stadium, I could not believe. I understand. I mean, Vol fans are Vol fans, and they go. And I guess they need a lot more seats for a lot more fans.
Well, how did Georgia Tech do? Then we'll get off this and we'll start talking about it.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know. They played actually before. I think they played a couple days ago. Thursday night or
Thursday night game or something maybe.
Yeah, I don't even know. I'm not into it as much as you are. So I just think that they probably won because they usually played the first game was against No Name and
yeah. Tennessee has been known throughout the years to in their non-conference games to play really good opponents like Oklahoma and stuff. But the last few years when we've been down, our program's not been as good. We have been playing the stepsisters of the little brothers kind of a thing. You know, we've been picking on some schools that we hope we could beat. But back in the day when we were powerful, and I think we're heading that way again, we played like UCLA or Southern Cal and I mean people like that, as a out of conference, which most schools don't do that because they always want that easy tune-up that first part of the season normally. So. Anyway, let's get started. Couple things real quick. 2 new programs being added to the lineup. Red State Talk Radio. I want to just mention the Doc Owen Show and also the Roush Report. And I don't have the schedule right in front of me, so but the schedule, the debut and everything on the website is on the website, so you can look those shows up and see what they're all about and see who's involved. And we invite you to take a listen. First off, this IRS scandal. There's a judge that finally has told the White House that they cannot hide their emails on this IRS scandal. And see, for months and months and months, Ken, the White House and the Obama administration has said, well, we don't have to share that stuff with you, even though you have an investigation, because it's privileged information, blah, 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 blah. Well, this federal judge says, oh, yeah, you do. You do have to share those emails. Now, I'm sure the Obama administration will fight this tooth and nail with everything they've got because this did not go the way they hoped it would go. But since Lois Lerner has taken the fifth and won't testify, I guess the only way we're ever going to know what really happened there. We know what happened, but I guess what I'm saying is we're not going to be able to prove what happened unless we get these White House emails and or we get Lois Lerner to admit what the hell really happened. And the only way you're going to do that is if you give her a deal. And the only way she's going to take a deal is if you have enough evidence on her to make her do time. So if you don't have that, and I think that's the whole problem. We just don't have enough on her. But if we get these White House emails, if we get these White House emails, maybe we will.
Well, so you're saying there could be more than a smidgen of evidence?
Yes, and I think that was true before this particular story broke. But yes,
yes.
Like was it Fred Thompson that said the smidgen must be a mountain range or something, whatever it was?
Yeah.
Because it was he thought it was a mountain of evidence that something went fishy in that whole thing, and I just hope we get to the bottom of this and somebody pays for this, because typically, these guys do whatever they want and get away with it. That's what drives me crazy.
Or it's like with Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama. It's like when there's something found out that there was wrongdoing, they always go, "Gosh, I didn't know that was going on. That that so and so below me. God, that was awful. They should be, it wasn't my fault. I didn't know what was going on. Like Obama, if something came out of the IRS scandal, you know what he'd say? Well, I found out just like you did on the news. I didn't know that was even happening.
That's his standard line. Every time something comes up,
it is.
He acts like he just found out about it. Like, hey.
There's no submission of evidence. If there's a big mountain of evidence, he'll go, "Gosh, I didn't realize that because I found out just like you found out about it on the news."
But you know what kills me about stuff like that is when they ask him all this stuff, they do what you just said, and then at some point they'll go, "Well, I take full responsibility for what happened, but hey, I didn't know anything was going on." Hang on, wait a minute. If you take full responsibility for what happened, then don't say you didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
That just makes no sense. It's like, but of course they don't want to pay. They don't want to have any kind of consequence for their full responsibility. They're willing to take it, but they're not going to. They're not going to take any punishment for it.
Right.
And we let them get away with that. The media lets them get away with it. The American people let them get away with it. It just amazes me how they sit there and do that tightrope and do that Clinton-esque thing of the meaning of what the meaning of is kind of thing, and they get out of all that stuff.
Oh, well, they never get out of that stuff with you and me.
No, not anybody that has half a brain knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why the Hillary thing, and she's up there and she says, "No, I did nothing wrong. Nothing was classified. I did this." But you have to listen to what she says. You have to listen to exactly the words she uses.
Every single word.
Yes.
Matter of fact, she was interviewed the other day by Andrea Mitchell, and she asked her, would you like to apologize to the American people about what happened? And she goes, this is not exactly the quote, but it's pretty darn close. "Well, I'd like to apologize for all the confusion that my email setup has caused."
Yeah, I could have made better choices.
That's not the same thing as apologize for what you did.
Right.
You're apologizing because American people are too stupid to understand what you did. Is what she's trying to say. That kind of stuff drives me nuts too. I don't understand how they get away with that. And I don't understand how Andrea Mitchell sits there and lets her get away with it.
I know. That's part of the problem, too. I could have made better choices, Primo. I could have made better choices. If I had to go back and do it again, I would have made a better choice. But I apologize for the choice. My choices weren't.
I apologize. You don't understand my choices.
The confusion it caused you about my choice.
Yeah. I'm confused, too. So it's not really my fault. Oh, Lord.
There's so much more to learn about all this with Hillary. And it's going to plague her through the election.
Oh, yeah. Drip, drip,
if
drip.
she gets that far.
Drip, drip, drip. Couple things here. The State Department released the biggest batch of emails they had on Hillary Clinton earlier in the week. And there's an article on RedStateTalkRadio.com. Be sure to take a look at this article. The 21 Hillary Clinton emails you must read. It's done by Politico. I'm not going to go into it. Just go to the article, read the article. There's some pretty good stuff in there. But here's the best part of this whole email scandal with Hillary Clinton. The State Department sent this stuff out, the biggest thing they've done so far. You got all these emails that have some questionable stuff in them, blah, blah, blah. But I'm sure, Ken, you heard about this hacker who threatened to sell Hillary Clinton's entire unreleased private emails for $500,000. Well,
that's it. I have not heard about that.
You hadn't heard this one?
Now does he really have them, or is it just a?
He supposedly has them. Here's the deal: we all know about the server being wiped, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is the server was not wiped for quite a long time. The server was still up and running for a long, long time. This guy went in, and someone had deleted the emails. Yes, they did. But guess what? Now, according to this article, I'm not kidding you. According to this article, the article says that they deleted everything, basically everything in her inbox. Okay? They did not delete the stuff in her sent box. Which that tells me that whoever did the first deletion, not the wipe, but just deleting the emails, didn't know what the hell they were doing, or they would have known you got to get the inbox and the sent box. And my guess is it was either like Huma Abedin or Cheryl Mills, or maybe Hillary herself was so stupid to try to do it herself. Because anybody with any brains at all and understand how email works would understand you got to basically delete those emails wherever they are in your email system, not just in one box. So anyway, apparently that's how this guy got the stuff. And he was offering it. He said the bidding will start at $500,000. If I had been Donald Trump, I would have jumped on that so fast.
Yeah, that's chicken feed to him.
That's chicken feed, $500,000, no big deal. I would have bought that stuff, and I would have had that stuff, and I would have held a press conference, and I would release it to the American public, and I would have given it to the FBI, and whatever the hell. I mean, he missed a golden opportunity. Well, what happened was after this guy made this announcement, apparently he got some good advice from attorneys. He said, you can't do that. They'll throw you in jail because those things are classified, blah, 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 blah. So what did he do? He turned over the entire thing that he has. Now, remember, this is before she deleted everything. This has stuff that she supposedly, her yoga classes and Chelsea's wedding are supposedly in there, okay? If you believe that, if you think that's all that's in there. He turned it over to the FBI. The FBI has it now. So
he did have it. Is that for a fact?
He had supposedly, according to the reports, he had it, and he has since given it to the FBI. So the FBI doesn't even have to sit there and try to recover the emails off her server, even though I'm sure they'll continue doing what they're doing already. But he's going to dump this stuff in their lap like this. My goodness. Now, I've not heard Hillary Clinton talk about this after this happened. I got a feeling she's not going to talk about it anymore, at least for a while, until she comes up with another lie to tell us. But
I don't think to her it really matters. I think she thinks she's untouchable. I think she thinks eventually this will all go away.
Yeah, I think she does. I think she. Oh, but think about it. She's gotten away with this crap her entire career.
Yeah, but I mean, she's also rode the coattails of her husband.
Right.
Because he's really been given the pass. She's not been given the pass.
But, well, that's because nobody likes her. She's just so unlikable.
I think that's the point. The whole point
that's part of it. Don't you think that's part of it?
Oh yeah, because I don't. Like I said before, I don't think your own party. Most of them want somebody else.
Oh yeah, and also Joe Biden. Let's talk about Joe Biden a little bit. You know, there's been talk about him getting in the race, and I mentioned an article last week in last week's show that supposedly 10 Democratic insiders were contacted by this magazine or newspaper, whatever it was, and they said that 8 out of 10 of them said Joe Biden's not going to run. Well, I saw a statement about Joe Biden just the last few days, and I'm convinced he's not going to run either. He does not have his heart in it. I think he's going around talking to people just because he knows he has to for his own political, leverage, and trying to do the right thing in terms of, well, I'll at least talk to you. You can express your opinion. You let me know what you think, and blah blah blah. But this guy did not sound like a guy who wanted to run for president. This guy, he looked beat down. He looked as if he wanted out of the room, that he did not really even want to discuss this, but he has no choice. I'm convinced he is not going to run at this point. I could be wrong, of course.
Well, I think you're right, because I listened to, he was actually here in Atlanta this past few days, and caused some one of the problems with the traffic jams. Thank you, of course, Joe. But I listened to his interview or his speech, and he was talking about he needs, he's looking for the emotional. It's not everything's about the emotional energy. Does he and his family have the emotional energy to run a campaign? And he didn't talk about money, he didn't talk about any of that stuff. And after the death of his son recently, he didn't sound like he was going to run. He really didn't.
Right. Yeah. I think he's just not emotionally into it right now. And I don't think, at his age, I think he's pretty much done. I think he's happy to ride off into the sunset after this Obama administration's over with and just retire. I think he's done. I really do. But that doesn't mean that maybe Elizabeth Warren, because here's the thing. If Hillary drops out of the race, which I'm predicting she will at some point, and I'm saying it could be a lot sooner than we think, but if she lasts through the end of the year, I'll be totally surprised. But the problem is, if someone else doesn't enter the race in the month of September, the Democrats are screwed. The only option they have is Martin O'Malley and Bernie Sanders. Like Elizabeth Warren, if she's thinking about getting in, she needs to do it now. She's only got a few weeks before she has to enter because of all the deadlines you have when you file to run for president. Mm-hmm. And the deadlines are fast approaching. They're sometime in this month. I don't know exactly when. I need to look that up, I guess. But if it don't happen next 2 or 3 weeks, it ain't going to happen.
Well, I'm saying this again, like I said before. I think Hillary is our best offense. Hillary staying in the race is the best for the Republicans, best for whoever the nominee is eventually going to be.
The longer she stays in, the better for the GOP.
I do. I think that's I think she's our best ammunition.
And if she even survives, I think she'll be so wounded she doesn't have a chance.
People don't trust her. No matter what comes of this email thing, I don't think that's ever going to get better for her because she's not Bill. And there's not enough women to elect her because not all women are going to vote for her anyway. The low population voters, the low information voters, not enough of them carry her. Not.
Well, you're probably right, unless, of course, they go to the tried and true graveyard situation where
unless they cheat.
Well, they cheat all the time. It's this whole. The graveyards, the absentee ballots, the funny business where there are more people registered in the county and the state than are registered to vote. Period. And they sit there and act like the Democrats act like voter fraud is non-existent. That's nuts.
Yeah,
it's all over the place.
It's there.
It's there. It's big time there.
And it's probably really bad in some places. We don't see it. I don't see it because I have to show my ID where I go.
Right.
Do you do the same thing?
Yeah. We in Tennessee now we have to show ID.
Yeah. So I think in certain places because we're just we see the light through our own polling place, but I don't see any really underhanded things going on where I am. Or where you are, but we're in the South.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either personally, but that doesn't mean it's not going on. So,
yeah.
Okay, let's go to break. Thank you for sticking with us. This is the Red State Town Hall program. We'll be back in just a few moments.
Red State Talk Radio, WRS Cleveland.
Hi, this is Jeff Carlisi from the band 38 Special. The mainstream media has failed the American people once again. Internet radio networks like Red State Talk Radio will not fail you. Tune in 24 hours a day. Studios A and B. Great conservative programming around the clock. Red State Talk Radio, the dominant force in Internet conservative talk radio.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom36.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom36.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 36.com. Go to freedom36.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom36.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-400-1756 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 800-400-1756 to take your call now. Call 800-400-1756. That's 800-400-1756. Again, 800-400-1756.
If you're diabetic, this message could change your life. Is your blood sugar out of control even when you do all the right stuff? Are you afraid of diabetic blindness and the risk of amputation, as well as all those other side effects? Well, you should be. Is there anything that could help manage your blood sugar? Nobetes is a natural supplement that may quickly and dramatically lower your blood sugar.
My name is Bob Corder. I've been using Nobetes for about 3.5 to 4 months now, and in the first 3 months, I've actually lowered my blood sugars from 500s down to 139, and then it dropped to 88 to 93.
My name is Kirsten. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and while taking Nobetes, my blood sugar levels dropped from 295 to 115 in just one day.
The FDA hasn't evaluated these statements, and Nobetes isn't intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. But for many, it's helped drop their blood sugar. So if you've been evaluated with high blood sugar, don't delay. Evaluate Nobetes now. Call 800-554-7159 and get 2 bottles free. Just cover shipping and handling. Call 800-554-7159. That's 800-554-7159.
Hi, this is Primo Mondoni, General Manager for Red State Talk Radio. We've been bringing you the very best in grassroots, common sense conservative talk radio for over 5 years now. One thing I've learned in those 5 years is that internet radio is a tough, competitive business. And if the station is going to advance that next level, it's going to require a significant increase in investments in both personnel and infrastructure. Our listenership grew by 42% in 2014, and with our ever-expanding listener base, it's time that we begin the move to a more listener-supported model to provide the station's future financial needs. Therefore, we're asking our loyal listeners to consider making a donation to help us reach our goals. Monthly subscriptions begin at only $2 per month. So please, help us restore conservative principles to our republic. Visit our website and become a Red State Talk Radio supporter today.
Red State Talk Radio. The Talk Monster.
The path to restoring our republic was laid down by our founding fathers. The principles of freedom, liberty, personal responsibility, and limited government are conservative ideals we will never abandon. America is listening. Grassroots, common sense, conservative talk radio. It's on the internet. Tune in now. Red State Talk Radio, featuring some of the most popular internet talk show hosts in America today. Are you listening? RedStateTalkRadio.com.
Okay, we're back. Thanks for sticking with us. This is the Red State Town Hall. I'm your host, Primo Mondoni, and my co-host is Mr. Ken Brown. Okay. Let's see here. Let's talk about Donald Trump a little bit. There's an article on RedStateTalkRadio.com from someone at Fox News and talking about how the media has shifted. Because when Trump first got into the race, Ken, he was looked at as a buffoon. He was not a serious candidate, et cetera, et cetera. And now everyone in the media is starting to think that he's gone from the unthinkable to the unavoidable. That the guy is for real, at least in terms of the way the American people are looking at things. He has gone up every single poll that comes out, he's inching up. The last one I heard was he was at 30% or a little over 30%. And when you got that many people running, think about this. When all these people die off the vine, which they're going to die off the vine, there's going to be a bunch of people who are not going to last much longer, like Rick Perry.
Where do their supporters
exactly.
Go?
Where does it go? Will all of a sudden Ben Carson, Now, here's another thing. Donald Trump at the last poll, I think, was at 30%. Ben Carson was at 18%. He was the only one in double digits. Everybody else was in single digits. But you know what's funny? When they pitted Carson versus Trump, Carson beats Trump.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that tell you? I tell you what it tells me is that when all these people die off, they might be moving to Carson. Right? Does that make sort of sense?
Yeah, it does. I think you're right. I don't think it'll split very much. I think most of them will go to a person. I don't think it'll be people. I think that most of them will go in the direction of whoever they think is closest to what they want. Astounds me still is that the media, the regular politicians have all thought, well, Trump is a quick fix, and people get tired of him, and they'll come to their senses, and they'll go to Bush, and
they'll be more serious. They'll go to whatever.
Yeah, but it's just a flash in the pan, He's all just Mr. TV, he's The Apprentice and all that kind of stuff. It's not that way, and
for a lot of people, it's not.
It runs deep. They don't. We're tired. All of us are tired of the establishment. We're tired of the way the Republicans have done their business,
and not done their business.
Yeah, it's not just Trump. It is Carson. It is Fiorina.
It's Cruz.
When the media puts more emphasis on those three people, and even Cruz, those people, than it does Bush. Now, tell me, Primo, Bush has got the money. Bush, the media follows Bush, because, and it's not been that way.
Yeah, he's got the money to last. But I've said this several times on this show. When I talk to everybody I know personally, I have not found but the one person we've mentioned before, and I'll name him again, Kermit. He is the only one that speaks highly of Bush, and I'm not sure if he's a Bush fan or not. But he's the only one I've ever heard do anything positive about the guy. Everyone else I've talked to, whether it be on the internet or in person, they all go, we don't need another Bush. We do not need another Bush. And that's just that seems to be the sentiment. And his poll numbers show it. I think the last poll I saw had Bush at 7%.
He's gone down.
He's lost half his support.
Yeah. And now it's become a Bush-Trump feud for the most part. That's the only time I see Bush on TV when he's talking about Trump.
And Trump is winning.
So who's helping who? You know what I'm saying?
Trump is kicking Bush's butt all over the place. Every time they try to have a little exchange, Trump gets the best of him every time.
But I think it's because people don't want that. Like you were saying, they don't want the same old. And that's why I say Hillary's our best shot at becoming is getting that another conservative in the White House, because she is the person like Bush. Nobody wants that again.
Yeah, I think
and the emails and the Benghazi thing that just magnifies it.
Well, I mean, look at Bernie Sanders' support. I mean, that shows that there's even a segment. There's a segment of the Democrat Party that doesn't want Hillary either.
Well, yes, that's what I just got through saying. And you got a socialist, who's drawing big crowds. Why? Not because he's a socialist. It's because he's the only alternative. That's the reason.
I hope that's the reason, because I hate to think that there is that many socialists in this country. I hate to think.
No, there's not.
I hope to God that's correct.
It's anti-Hillary. That's what it is.
You're probably right. Speaking of Hillary, let's bring up another topic that's been a bane to her existence for quite a while. This Benghazi committee. There's a Democrat that has been on the committee who has been only attended one of the 45 interviews. And he said the other day that this was all a big bunch of crap and they need to disband the Benghazi committee and we're wasting enough of the American people's time and money, blah, 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 blah. And, of course, Trey Gowdy pointed out that he had only attended one of the 45 interviews where they had interviewed all these people about Benghazi. And so Trey Gowdy's point was, well, how the hell do you know if this this is the way? You've not been here. You're on the committee, but you've only shown up once, and made him look like an idiot. Of course, Trey Gowdy kind of does that for most folks. He pretty much makes just about anybody look like an idiot. But let's forget the email just for a minute. Forget the email scandal. This, even though that might be what brings her down. Is it possible that this Benghazi stuff, but here's the thing, the email scandal could possibly help the Benghazi committee have more teeth to it, of course. Sure. And I hope that she bows out of the race. I hope it's not just because of the email scandal. I hope it's because of the emails they found about Benghazi that really run her out of town. And I honestly believe, I don't think she'll ever pay a price for Benghazi other than a political price. However, with the email stuff, she might actually pay a price in terms of criminal prosecution.
That would be my hope. I agree. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but at the very least, I want her to be shamed. That every time you think of Hillary Clinton, it's like Richard Nixon. You think of Watergate. You think you don't see anything else but, okay, you lied and you're responsible and you're disgraced. At the very least, that's what I want.
Yeah, but I hope she does time too.
Well, that would be my preference because I think she needs to.
Well, I mean, if you saw her a week or so ago when she was doing that press conference with that orange jumpsuit, it looks good on
her. Here we go.
It does. I mean, and she's an ugly woman, and so for her to look good in orange.
Okay. What time is it?
A lot of people can't. Well, we got a few more minutes back here. A lot of people don't look good in orange. I mean, I'm a big Tennessee Vol fan, and I've got tons of orange shirts and orange jerseys and orange T-shirts. But you know what? When you're a fat boy like me, you don't wear orange because you look like the Great Pumpkin. You pretty much. I try to find Tennessee shirts that are black or blue, and they have a Tennessee logo on them. I try not to wear Tennessee orange too much because it's just not. It's not so flattering. But I have to admit, it looked really pretty good on Hillary because I'm just thinking. All you need for that orange jumpsuit is to put her prisoner number on the back of that, and it would look just fine. I think it's a good look. It's a good look for her.
I'm gonna go back to the ugly part. You don't think she's an attractive woman?
I don't. Have I ever mentioned that before? Have I? No, that woman. I said last week. I think it was last week. She was dog ugly. I mean, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but you waited till the very end of the show last week. This time you've done it. You get a little sooner in the.
I'm taking your advice. I'm trying to get out here a little more because I think people do like this kind of stuff.
They do. I think you should start the show this way. I really do.
Maybe we just need to have a bash on Hillary thing at the very top, and then every time we come out in and out of break, and then finish up as we finish up. Come up. I need to come up with new material though, because the Coyote ugly thing. I guess we've done that to death. I need to come up with some new way of describing an ugly woman. But I'm telling you, I just hate to wake up to that every morning. God.
Well, I think Bill feels the same way.
Well, that's why he doesn't wake up with her every morning. Most of the time, they're not even in the same building, let alone the same bed.
Look at the history of Bill. We can see that he's not been a big Hillary fan.
No,
he's looking in other places.
And a lot of people give Bill a hard time, but knowing who he's married to, I really don't.
You justify it.
I justify it. I say, hey, look, you know what? You got to do what you got to do, man. You got to do what you got to do. No wonder he's a hound dog. I'd be a hound dog too if I had a woman like that. First of all, I wouldn't have one like that. But
you and I both believe, and I'm sure we're one of many, that Hillary only stayed married to Bill after she found out about all his dalliances because she wants power.
Oh, yeah.
And staying married to Bill keeps her in the loop, keeps her in the power.
In the limelight. She's in the power structure, etc.
Otherwise, they'd been split a long time ago.
Well, this week when remember Donald Trump put a tweet out about Huma Abedin saying she was a security risk and all this kind of stuff. Oh boy, Hillary got pissed off because she loves Huma Abedin and they've been together a long time, and there are rumors about those two. Think about it. She's got Bill Clinton, who's a hound dog, who's all over the place, and he's not at home. And her husband is Anthony Weiner. I can see why those two women would be attracted to one another.
Who the Donald called a perv.
Yeah, he called him a perv. She's married to a perv, and she's a security risk. And Hillary just about blew a gasket because you don't talk about her
Huma.
Her Huma. Yeah, you don't talk about her Huma like that.
It's hard to say Huma, isn't it?
It is hard to say Huma. Huma Abedin. I don't think she's that way with Cheryl Mills. I don't think they're. I think maybe Cheryl Mills is straight. I'm not sure, but I think it's absolutely possible that Hillary Clinton is not only a switch hitter. I think she's actually went to the other side now at this point. Based on Bill's behavior.
Is it Cheryl Mills or who's the one that said they were going to plead the fifth if they were called?
Neither one of them said anything. It was her IT person that said he's going to.
IT, okay, it was the guy.
The guy that supposedly wiped the server.
Oh yeah.
He's the one that said she's going to claim the fifth. But the thing is, I guarantee you, Trey Gowdy's talking to that guy and trying to give him immunity. Look, we'll give you immunity. You just give us a scoop. I can tell you. I know that's going on behind the doors, and he's sitting there trying to negotiate a good deal. And I hope to hell I let the guy off too. I said, "Hey, look, I was just following orders. They told me to do this. That's not my job, blah blah blah." Oh yeah. But
bring her down.
Yeah, I hope to goodness that
go get her,
because at some point Hillary Clinton might herself because basically remember this. She was paying this guy out of her own pocket. Well, probably not her pocket. Probably the Clinton Foundation paid him. Yeah. But he was getting paid by her for stuff she was doing for her, and I guess wiping the server is one of them. And what I'm getting at is at some point he might be able to testify that she actually told him get rid of all these emails and make sure no one can ever get them back. If he can say that,
yeah, live in front of that committee,
and say that, and we're not just talking yoga and wedding emails, we're talking other stuff. Because let me tell you something, you're sitting there, you actually see the titles and the subjects of some of these emails, and he can verify that it was not just yoga classes, it was just not the wedding, it was State Department stuff that she had me delete.
Yeah.
And really, even if there's nothing in the State Department stuff that would be necessarily harmful to Hillary, the fact that any State Department email was deleted is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what it says. If it's a State Department email and they're talking about the Christmas party, that's still a State Department email.
Yeah, just getting you're in the business of going after the Benghazi information. But the other information could kill her too, just because it's like, oh, well, she did this, and it had nothing to do with Benghazi. She shouldn't have been doing that too. I mean, there's so much there's so much trail here, you know. Well, there's smoke, there's fire. Well,
sometimes it's not what's in the email. Sometimes it's just a matter of the timeline, because you could have what would seem to be a inconspicuous email. but because of the date and time it's sent, it puts everything into perspective and can form a picture as to what really happened. I mean, those kinds of things can happen if you have the entire trail. And apparently, thanks to this hacker, they do now. So,
I don't see Hillary coming before the committee. I just don't see it.
She's supposed to.
Yeah.
I think she's going to. Yeah, she said she's going to, but I think there's going to be enough found out in the next couple of weeks that she'll have to either take the fifth or just decline to do it. But here's the thing. If I were Trey Gowdy, I'm telling you what, I would not release a single bit of information between now and the time that she's going to testify. I'd let her testify, and then when she testified, I would have the trap already laid, and I would smoke her, man. Just destroy her.
But I think that's why she's not going to testify. I think she's not going to come before the committee because she doesn't know what they found out.
She doesn't know what they know.
And she'll be afraid of Trey Gowdy. I would be too if I were her. And I'm running for president, and if I go in front of the committee, this is not going to help me. This is not going to validate me. I can't. This is only going to hurt me.
Yeah.
Trey Gowdy's he's going to come after me. I'm going to get emotional like I did the last time. Scream out stuff, and I'm telling you, she's not going to do it. She won't. That's nuts for her to do it.
Well, I think that when she does testify, if she does testify, what she needs to do is wear that orange jumpsuit so that she won't even have to change clothes when they take her off. Don't you think of that?
We found it again. We found it. So
I can't believe she wore an orange jumpsuit. Because that just leaves an impression on everybody's mind. What do you think about when you think of an orange jumpsuit?
Yeah, I have a number sticker right there on the table for her. And ma'am, don't mind just getting that sticker and put it on your chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then these men will take you to your next.
You know the thing they put on the desk right in front of you? It says the Honorable Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
I think they should have her prison number underneath that. So when they take her out, they just slide that out where it says Honorable Hillary Clinton, and then pull out her sticker and put her prison number right there on the jumpsuit, right there.
It works for me.
Yeah, it works for me too.
I have a hard time with that word honorable for any.
That's you really want to just laugh. The honorable anything in Congress. I don't know if I'd use that.
I mean,
there's only a handful of people I would even use that term with.
Yeah.
Maybe a Ted Cruz, maybe a Mike Lee. There might be a few people who you could use that.
Yeah.
term.
Yeah. I mean, honorable with a politician just does not. I mean, it's oil and water. It doesn't mix.
Yeah. Okay. There's going to be a debate this month on CNN. Oh, by the way, Hugh Hewitt. Did you read the article where Hugh Hewitt asked Donald Trump some, quote, gotcha questions about the Middle East and about terrorism and stuff?
I listened to it. Yes, I listened to it on his
you
radio.
did? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, first of all, was it a gotcha question? Was Hugh Hewitt being fair, or was Donald Trump right to be pissed off about it?
I think with Hugh Hewitt's very much in tune with the defense of this country, and he's very much keeps abreast of every so-called tribe or whatever's over there at the time. And honestly, the Kurds. It was something close to Kurds. I can't remember the name.
The Kurds. QUDS and the Kurds, which is
that was the question about the Kurds, and he of course Donald thought it was the Kurds.
And I understand that. I felt like that was being truthful. That he thought he meant the Kurds.
Yeah, and that was all. And then he told him it was the Kurds, and he said, I don't mean it's just a gotcha question kind of thing. And Donald said it was a gotcha question, and it really was. If you're talking to, because any politician, unless you were in this, like Rubio, like you're part of the, that you're really in tune with all of that.
Right.
It
because
is
you serve on an intelligence committee or something like that, or whatever.
Yeah. And you can't expect Donald to know all of that stuff.
No.
You just can't.
I really don't, and I'm not a big Donald fan, but the fact that he would know all those people and sit there and like, who's the president of whatever country? I mean, who the hell knows? But you know what? When you're president of the United States, you delegate that stuff, and that's one thing that Donald brought up is, hey, I delegate. I'll find people who know all the answers, and basically, because what you're doing as a delegator, as commander in chief, is you delegate this stuff out to other people, and then they come and give you a breakdown, a synopsis of everything that's going on, and give you advice, and then you have to make the hard decision.
The best thing about Donald Trump to me is how he handles the media.
Oh yeah,
he handles the media like, hey, you're giving me a question that's not fair, and he throws it back in their face. Whereas 4 years ago, or almost 4 years ago, when the same thing happened to Herman Cain. Herman Cain tried to answer it and try to be polite, and he might have, didn't know that I'll let my generals handle that because I don't really know anything about that, and then they make him look stupid. Donald Trump doesn't do that. Donald Trump handles the media.
He always fights back. He doesn't take crap off anybody, and
people like that.
People like it. Hell, I like it. And even though I don't agree with some of the stuff that Donald Trump says, like he wants to raise taxes and this, that, and the other, and I'm not for that at all. Blah blah blah. But I still like the way he handles himself. I do.
And the media, I think, hates it. They hate it because they want to predict things and this is going to happen, that's going to happen. And Donald is totally the opposite way. His ratings go up.
I know.
They don't go down.
He's not had a dip yet. Every time he does something, and everybody says, "Oh, the party's over," he's going down. He goes up.
He gets stronger.
I know.
And if it's not him, it's Fiorina or Ben Carson.
Right.
So you explain that to me. People are upset.
I think people are just tired of the same old crap. That's what it is.
Oh, I am.
Okay. Well, we're out of time. That's it. You want to take us out, Ken?
If we lose freedom here, there is no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. Ronald Wilson Reagan, our 40th president of these United States.
That's it. Thank you for listening. We're out of here. See you next time.
The leader in talk radio on the internet, right here on K98Talk.com.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
Hey folks, Slickery Trigger here. I'd like to take a minute to tell you about Rebel Road Tactical. As a defensive pistol instructor, I've had the opportunity to observe many different holster designs and configurations. And one thing is clear. Many of my students won't carry a pistol. Or worse, they'll carry one without a holster at all. Holster designers aren't making holsters for normal people. It seems that most holsters are either an expensive piece of gear designed for Rambo or a piece that doesn't fit or function the way real people need it to fit and function. So, like any good Texan, I decided to learn to form kydex and design one myself, one that would fit the needs of average people. The result is the Rebel Road Tactical CRT Modular. The CRT stands for Carry, Range, and Training. Its thin and lightweight curved design minimizes printing and is adjustable to fit just right for superior comfort and function. Check us out after the show at rebelroadconcealed.blogspot.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.